joining us. This is Breaking Down the Borders, and I'm Linda Furiate. On today's show is Monica Cromhout, chiming in from South Africa. Monica, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Linda. I'm doing good.
Great. Well, you have been working as a full-time astrologer since 1996. Tell us a bit more about your philosophy in regards to astrology, and how does your study of the Bible and Christianity play into that role?
I have a very strong Bible background, as I think many astrologers probably have. And I have no regrets about that. I'm not a practicing Christian anymore, but my values in life were built around my Bible study as a young person. And many of the symbols and the archetypes that come out of the Bible still form part of the way I understand a chart now. And I have quite a few clients who are practicing Christians who come for readings, and I think they feel easy with me because I'm able to talk their language. I know the Bible pretty well.
Okay. And do you get a lot of resistance when you tell people who are Christian that you are an astrologer?
Surprisingly, I don't. At the very beginning, I thought I would have a lot of resistance, but I can say practically never.
Okay, and if you do, how would you respond to that? How would you answer that sort of question or objection?
The most obvious answer that is easy to understand for people who ask that kind of question is that the Bible has only been available to people in its printed form for about the last 400 years. And so how did God talk to people before that? We're talking about the last little sliver of time where God has been able to talk to us through the Bible. And he spoke to us before that through his creation, which is the plants and the animals, and of course most of all the sky. So that is it's a historical fact. So it's something that they can't argue about.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, shamanism is coming into the very mainstream mindset of people. How are you able to tie your study of indigenous cultures into modern day humanity and astrology?
The shamanism element of my work has become very strong. And is stronger all the time, and it's somehow connected to the Bible, or should I reword that and say to original sources of understanding. And we as human beings gained our original source for knowledge as human beings is nature, Mother Nature herself. And although I'm not at all involved with paganism, I think maybe pagans would certainly understand that our connection with Mother Nature and the cycles of Mother Nature are our source of wisdom, our source of knowledge, and that incorporates the cycles of the planets and the sun and the moon, and that is very, very much part of my work now.
Great. Now, your talk for the Breaking Down the Borders conference is Saturday, November 20 at 12:30 p.m., and that's Eastern Standard Time. And it's about teaching astrology on Facebook. Give us a little hint about what we can expect to hear at your lecture.
I work on the internet a lot with my work, and I discovered Facebook kind of quite late on. There were a lot of other people very much involved, but I taught myself how to use it. And I found that teaching astrology on Facebook works extremely well. It's very easy, it's very quick, it's very flexible in terms of adding new information. And what I like about it the most is that I'm able to teach astrology in a very, I call it a vagabonding style. One of my main philosophies of life is the philosophy of the vagabond, where you embrace what comes at you and you make something out of that, rather than having a preconceived idea of where you're going. So I will receive something on the internet, say something that's very interesting. This morning, for instance, just to use a current example, there was a very interesting an article from NASA about the how coronal mass ejections from the sun are being controlled and moved, and they don't just head in one direction. Now that immediately jumps into my mind as something I can add to my Facebook course. And I can go straight in. I don't have to call the students. I don't have to make a time. I can incorporate that new astronomical knowledge or cosmological knowledge into what I'm teaching. And where I've put that is into the diversity. Diversity is one of the principles by which Mother Nature works. And diversity is what astrology is based on, because each of us are individuals. We are diverse, as many of us there as we are all diverse. And so I was able to add a whole new section around diversity in a cosmological sense to support the diversity of astrology and the diversity of Mother Nature herself.
And how can people learn more about you? Do you have a website?
I have a website, but I'm afraid I rather neglect my website in favor of Facebook. The best way to get to know me, I think, is through Facebook, because that's up to date and in the moment.
And so how can someone find you on Facebook?
They can just look me up, Monica Cromhout.
Okay, great.
My name. And there's only one of me on Facebook, which is rather nice. You're not going to get a whole lot of Monica Cromhout. It's just me.
That's like Linda Furiate. Very rarely will you see that name again. Great. Well,
I'm sure there's not a lot of Linda.
Exactly. Now, we are just about out of time. Do you have any closing thoughts about doing an online astrology conference that truly is bringing the world together?
Oh, I think it's the most amazing idea. I'm so filled with admiration for those who thought up the idea and are putting in the effort to put it all together, and I hope that it's going to happen often. I'm really honored to have been to be one of the speakers, and I'm looking forward to it very much. Congratulations to everyone, to you too, Linda.
Thank you. Yes, and we can congratulate Ina Stanley and Chris Turner for really putting this together and having them, the brilliant minds to even think of this. So great.
Yeah.
Well, Monica, I appreciate your time today. We are out of time. I'm Linda Furiate, and this is Breaking Down the Borders. See you around the globe.